It began with humiliation so deep it could have broken anyone. A black janitor, tired after hours of scrubbing floors, found herself ordered by the very CEO of the company to crawl like a dog across the shining marble lobby she had just cleaned. Cameras were everywhere. People laughed. Her dignity was stripped in seconds, her humanity reduced to a cruel display. But what the CEO didn't know was that the woman he mocked carried a secret. Beneath the uniform and mop bucket was a history, a connection, and a power he could never have imagined. The next day, everything would change. Watch until the end, because this story isn't what you think. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Her name was Amara Johnson. For most of her colleagues, she was invisible. Just another janitor, sweeping quietly at night and cleaning up the messes others had left behind. But Amara wasn't ordinary. She once held a degree in economics, but systemic racism, family struggles, and lack of opportunity had derailed her path. So she took the job no one else wanted, wearing the uniform with quiet pride because it paid the bills and gave her time to support her son's education. The company she worked for was no small enterprise. It was a global empire worth billions, run by a CEO whose arrogance was legendary. He believed power gave him the right to crush anyone beneath him. To him, Amara wasn't a person. She was background noise. Still, Amara moved through the halls with quiet grace. What no one realized was that she had been paying attention, observing everything. She knew the schedules, the habits, the secrets whispered in boardrooms when they thought no one was listening. One night, the CEO arrived late after a high-profile event, drunk on power and whiskey. Spotting Amara mopping the lobby, he sneered. In front of his assistants, he demanded she crawl on the floor like a dog, mocking her work and her skin color. Laughter echoed as Amara, stunned and trembling, complied for the sake of keeping her job. Cameras captured every humiliating second. But humiliation has a way of turning into fire. That night, Amara went home with tears staining her face. She thought about the years of silence, the countless times she had endured microaggressions, racism, and invisibility. This time was different. She knew something the CEO didn't. His empire was already fragile. Amara's late-night shifts gave her access to confidential documents, carelessly discarded files, and overheard conversations. She had seen patterns, illegal dealings, tax fraud, and insider trading. She kept everything neatly documented, hidden away, waiting for a day when truth would matter. Now, that day had arrived. Fueled by humiliation and a deep sense of justice, she gathered her evidence. She reached out to a trusted contact, a journalist known for exposing corruption at the highest levels of government. By morning, the story was already in motion. Across the city, headlines began to swirl. Anonymous leaks exposed the company's darkest secrets. Stocks plummeted, investors panicked, and authorities launched investigations. The CEO had no idea who had struck the first blow, but Amara knew. This was just the beginning. By the next afternoon, chaos erupted inside the glass towers of the empire. News outlets broadcast non-stop coverage of fraud, bribery, and exploitation tied directly to the CEO. The company's stock value plummeted, wiping out billions of dollars in a matter of hours. Inside the office, the once untouchable CEO raged, demanding answers. His face drained of color as government officials stormed in with warrants. Cameras captured the moment he was escorted away in handcuffs, the same cameras that had recorded Amara's humiliation just the night before. For Amara, it wasn't just revenge, it was vindication. She had turned her pain into power, her silence into a weapon. The man who forced her to crawl had been brought to his knees by the very woman he thought powerless. And as his empire burned, one truth became undeniable. The world had finally seen who the real dog was. The company never recovered. The